Suaslay Natang Akmea, welcome to Khmer Voices, where we shine a spotlight on the achievements of the Cambodian diaspora around the world. I'm your host, Vani, aka Vanny. I'm very excited about this episode because I feel many of us have an entrepreneurial spirit, but we just don't have the idea or fears holding us back. Well, my guest today is sharing his journey on social media. Hervé Ky is a French Cambodian and is co-founder of Keybento, a home exchange platform focused on providing affordable, family-friendly travel accommodation options. You know what they say? When you see a problem, if you can provide a solution, there's an opportunity there. That's how Keybento came to be. Hervé was born and raised in a suburb of Paris, France. When it came to his education and his sisters, his parents were strict and expected a lot from them, which we talk about in this episode. But his home, like many of us, was filled with lots of love and delicious Cambodian food on the table every day for dinner. His parents gave them what they couldn't have when they were growing up: education and extracurricular activities. Hervé took Chinese classes, piano and swimming lessons, as well as taekwondo. So we talked about his journey into investment banking in London, England, and how he initially got rejected a lot because his English wasn't strong enough. A year and a half ago, Hervé started his business with his life partner, which of course is a good portion of our conversation. He's discovering the joy and pain of entrepreneurship, and his journey's just getting started. So let's just jump right in.
I grew up in Paris, in a suburb of Paris, and my parents are refugees from Cambodia. They came to France after the Khmer Rouge genocide in the 80s, and my father and my mother met in France. They didn't meet in Cambodia, so they both came separately.
Were they teenagers when they arrived?
Yes, my father was 20 years old, 19 years old, and my mother about the same age. But my father came 5 years before my mother. And they met. The story of my parents, how they met, is I always love to share it because that's so different from how I met my partner. My father was looking for a wife. He's the eldest of his family, and he was sharing with all of his friends, his relatives, that he was looking for a wife. So they were introducing him to different girls and families. And he lived in Paris. My father was based in Paris. And then one day, my grandfather told him that there was a girl in Lyon, 5 hours driving from Paris in south of France. He knew her because they were from the same village. And then my grandfather, and my uncle's father, they drove together 5 hours to meet with this family. And after they met, my father said, "Okay, that's going to be my wife. She's going to be my wife."
And your mom obviously agreed to that.
My mom agreed to that, yes.
What were her impressions of him?
From what she said that she wasn't that impressed. But she was the youngest of the family, and she was a bit of, I don't know, I think she wanted to go with the flow. And he was, I think the most important thing that it was nice, and he had a job as well. He was a serious person from a good family, from what they know each other. So
it was sort of like an arranged marriage then. Like there was no courting or anything. Like he just said, "I want to marry her," and she agreed to it, and that's how it was.
No, I think there are still 6 months periods where they were flirting.
Mm.
But as I haven't yet had the courage to ask them details
Yeah.
about the flirting
Oh, I
period.
understand. I don't know the story of how my parents met either. I asked my mom once, like, "Oh, how did you meet Ba? Like, how did you decide that he was going to be your husband?" And then she's like, "Well, I had a bunch of guys to choose from, and I chose him." And then she laughed, and that's all she said. And I don't really know the story. Yeah. So
Yeah,
okay. So your parents met in France, and you said that you have two sisters, right? Are they older than you?
correct. I have one younger sister and
Hmm.
one older sister.
What was your neighborhood like growing up?
My neighborhood was it's it was a mix of it was a lot of people that had different origins.
Mm.
So, for instance, my best friend, he was born in France as well, but his parents are from China. In my class, it's like it was normal to not be from parents who were born in France.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel that I was like the exception. I just felt like, oh, I'm one of those people. And it was we lived with my grandmother was living with us as well at the time, and the school was very close to our place, so I used to play just and then below a building. But every time I went back home, I had food, and that was, I think, one of the best memory I have when I'm thinking about my childhood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Were you around? Was there a Cambodian community there?
There was one family. Well,
Okay.
actually, there was two family.
Mm-hmm.
So one family, there was there was a girl who was in my class for 5 years, and their brother and sisters were more or less same age as my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So we were hanging hanging out with them quite a lot. Our mothers were friends.
Mm-hmm.
But beside that, I think most of my connection with Cambodian
Mm-hmm.
people were with my cousins, not so much with other Cambodians that I from other families.
So did you go to Wat or any one?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. We used to go a lot to that.
In Paris? Is that where it is, or the suburbs of Paris?
It is in Paris.
Okay. And
There is yeah.
yep, go on.
Now there is in Paris there is a place called the Vincennes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big park where all of the Cambodian festivities happen there. So for Khmer New Year, you have all Cambodian people going there. All our families are going there, and my parents they had their friends, etc. But we didn't mix up that much with other Cambodians.
Okay. Why is
Aside from
that?
this, I don't know. I think we had a big family. So my mother has 6 or 7 brothers,
Mm.
and my father has 4 siblings. So and they all have 3 kids. So it was already a big family to
Right.
mix up with.
Okay. So you grew up speaking Khmer.
Yes,
Oh, it
I
was a
spoke
combination of
Khmer at home.
Khmer and French.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was basic Khmer languages, and then as I grew up and get myself more educated,
Mm-hmm.
lots of words that I just use French words because I couldn't
Yeah.
describe them in Khmer.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you learn how to speak Spanish?
Oh, I spent 1 year, well, 3 years there,
Mm.
and 1 year as part of exchange with my
Mm.
university. So I was I learned Spanish there, speaking every day. And actually, this is, I think that's what triggered me to learn Khmer, because I was thinking, I can speak Spanish so fluently, I can mix with Spanish people, and they always tell me, you speak so well. Yes,
Mm.
I speak better Spanish than Cambodian.
Yeah.
So that was one of the trigger why
Mm-hmm.
now I'm learning Khmer.
Yeah, that was recent then, that revelation.
Yeah, it was. I always wanted to learn it, but didn't make the time to do it. And now, I want to, in the future, when I have kids, I want to pass on the heritage of my Khmer origins. And if I don't speak Khmer well, I think it's difficult to do so.
Yeah, yeah. I was just talking about that with the last guest that I had interviewed, and how there's a lot of language. It's reveals a lot about the culture too, and there's a lot of nuances that can't be translated in
Yeah.
English or French. So there's a lot of expressions that doesn't really make sense in English or French, but you know exactly what it means in Khmer. What other languages do you speak? So, Khmer, English, Spanish, French.
Yes, that's
Nate.
it. French,
Okay,
English, Spanish,
that's not
and Khmer.
just that's not just it, but that's quite amazing. Yeah, is that normal? Because I was speaking with one of my first guests, Soka. She says that not many French people speak English. Like, yes, you
Oh
will
yeah,
find French people who speak English, but it's not as common as, say, like when you go to uh, Belgium or the
yeah,
Netherlands.
yeah. That's true. That's true because we don't grow up in English-speaking environment. All
Mm,
of the movies, all of the songs that we listen are in French. So, for instance, for me, I struggle to speak English fluently because I didn't have this exposure and I wasn't really attracted by the American or British culture. But
mm,
I really wanted to make it into finance in London, in the financial hub. So, and that's also why I wanted to live here because I knew that when I lived in Spain, I learned Spanish and I spoke it very well. So I said,
mm-hmm.
the only way for me to speak well is to be immersed and to live in a country where I have no choice than
But to
speaking
speak it,
the
yeah.
language.
So, how did you learn English when you were in Spain? Because you didn't get the finance job in England right away. Excuse me, because in your bio you mentioned that you didn't because your English wasn't strong enough. So, how did you get to that level where you were able to work professionally in English?
So I listen to the radio every morning to a
Mm,
this English radio. It was an, a radio called Leading Britain's Conversation, and there were
mm-hmm,
people talk, calling the the radio host, and they were speaking in all those different accents: Indian, Scottish, American, British, and so that's how I learned to. My main issue was understanding and being able to respond well. So really, that was how I learned English, and then speaking by myself. Just because for to get into a job, it was a 1 hour interview about certain topics.
mm,
I didn't need to
mm-hmm,
speak about everything, so I knew very well everything about finance.
uh-huh. So you
And
learned
so
the
my
keywords for that.
yeah, the keywords and the way to
Mm-hmm,
sound like a finance professional. And I remember when I was looking for a flat, I wanted to share a flat. I was looking for a flat share, and I was talking to a man, and he told me, "You sound like." I was talking to a man in English, and he told me, "You sound like old man." It's just because the English I learned was for a very specific reason.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So you're learning Khmer now by listening to the radio then?
No, radio is.
No?
I listen to podcasts. I listen
Podcasts. Okay.
to Rien Thought.
Sorry?
Do you know Rien Thought? Rien Thought.
No, you're going to have to send me the link to that because I want to learn as well. So growing up then, your parents they really put the importance of education on you guys. Was there a path
Yeah.
that they wanted you to take? Or were they more just like, you
Um,
decide what you want to do as long as you go to school and get a good job after?
mm, I think my mother wanted us to be doctors
Mm.
because she felt that it was something prestigious
Mhm.
and we could take care of them when they were older. But with my sisters, we never like blood. Just seeing blood, we couldn't we couldn't do anything. So that was already a no. My father, he loves finance. He always told me and my older sister, "Oh, finance, work in a bank is very prestigious. You wear a suit, you will look good." So I think that's the path my older sister and me we took. But as we grew up as well, as we were having good grades, getting into good schools, they were less and less
Concerned?
forcing us to
Okay.
to go into one car. Yeah, but they were very disciplined at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
when we were quite young. My mother was very strict with us. So, for instance, we had to learn poems or multiplication tables in mathematics by heart because we needed to do for homework.
At what age?
And we had, I think it was around 8, 10 years old.
Okay.
So we were in front of her. We had to stand up in front of her in the living room and recite them by heart. And if we were making mistakes, she would threaten us like with a punishment. So, and in Khmer, she was saying, "Prayat ampuat, prayat rampuat." So,
Hold on. Did she know the answers herself? Or did she have like a
oh
sheet
yeah,
of paper?
yeah, she had
Okay.
the multiplication table in front of her or the poems. So
So
it was
she expected a lot out of you guys.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She expected us to be disciplined,
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't have the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to. She stopped school when she was 8 or 10 years old because of the war,
Mm.
and then when she came to France, she hadn't had the opportunity to study again. So she said that she didn't want that for her kids
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to be like her.
So you went to university, and then tell us what you were studying in university.
Uni, I studied business management
Mm.
and business administration, and then I specialized in finance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically economics, finance, mathematics. That's all kind of those stuff that I studied.
Mm-hmm. And then you got a job in investment banking.
Yes, correct. I started in. I wanted to work in finance in a high-paid job.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at all of the options, and investment banking was
Yeah.
one of them. And it doesn't require you to be super smart, like because at the time, trading was very something. Trading bonds and stocks were kind of trendy, but you had to be a good mathematician.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't, so I say, okay, you still can be in finance, in banking, if you put the hours. So I went into investment banking, and I spent my last 7 years there.
Wow. Did you like it?
I like it at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I learned a lot. It was fun and stressful at the same time.
Mm. How many hours
It
would you
was
work a day?
a day. A day would start at 9 a.m. and usually finish around midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's
How did you have time for your
on,
partner and the rest of your social life?
you don't really have time during the week,
Uh-huh.
and then weekends. I was tired, but trying to make it
Mm-hmm.
if I was not working, and then I could work from home
Mm.
also. So it was not. I could have dinner at home. I could, I could spend some time with my partner. But yeah, it was it's a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm. Well, did that play the hours dedicated to your work? Did that play a role in you deciding to start Keybento?
Oh yes, it definitely. I was at the point where to I wanted to make either a choice between, because I wanted to have my time back.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to use my skills on something that I wanted to do, and if I would spend that many hours, I wanted to do it for something that I would care and with people that I love working with. So that made a big that was a big part of changing and transitioning into building my own startup.
Yeah, because I imagine like if you and your partner want to have a family later on, the amount of hours that you're spending working for someone else, it's almost insane because you don't even get to see your family during most of your
Yeah,
life. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's a
yeah.
great reason to start doing something for your I mean, it's great that you're doing something for yourself and dedicating your time towards what fills your cup of tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, who inspired you?
When I have to think about one person, I don't think there is one person
Mhm.
in particular, but what I think I grew up as I had 2 years. I'm 2 years younger than my sister,
Mhm.
and I think I was doing a lot of what she was doing, and I took her as an example of doing the good stuff, but also seeing what I didn't want to do.
Uh,
For instance, I think at some point she started smoking or trying to smoke,
mhm.
but I didn't want to do that. But there are many things that I get inspired by her.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you came up with this idea of a home exchange platform? Because you were not in like any sort of tech industry before, you were in finance.
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm a startup founder, as you just mentioned. I came up with this idea with my partner in life. We were both traveling, looking for an accommodation in New York, and we wanted to stay there for a week, but it was quite expensive. So we looked for a home swap,
Mhm.
to swap our home in London to New York, and we found this. I've got introduced to this idea in in that moment. That was 2 years ago now. And the solutions, the home exchange platform we use was super difficult to find an exchange. So from that point, my partner was thinking about redoing the whole interface of this platform and send it to the CEO of that platform. And I say, wait, maybe we should think about it. I have a background in finance. I work with many companies. I've been always looked to find to build a company, but never had an idea.
Mhm.
And from that point, we started thinking about it. And then we also, my older sister, she she had her first child, and she was looking for an accommodation. She loves traveling, and she told us it's hard now that she has a kid to find good accommodation that is not too expensive.
Mm.
And that's when we thought, oh, maybe the families or the people that we can target, and they have large homes, they can host people in their home, and they can travel affordably. So that's how we all started the company.
So your business is called Keybento, but we'll talk about how you came up with that name a bit later on. Is the
Yeah.
pricing for your business similar to, sorry, it's the pricing for the consumer, so the end user, is it the same as other home exchange platforms? It's competitive?
So there is it's similar to some extent.
Mm.
So we have a pricing where you pay only the platform fees, which is because it's like Airbnb,
Mm.
but you only exchange your home. So there is no rental fees. You only pay the platform fees. And the platform fees are fixed and limited. So for instance, now it's about 40 euro because we are based in Europe per night.
Okay. And you couldn't find, for those home exchange platforms, they didn't offer maybe like a filter to that would be like kid friendly, and that's where you saw that opportunity?
They would offer this, but the amount of time spent
Mm.
on the platform is like you message someone and then you get an answer 12 weeks later. The concept we have now, it's matching people. So you tell us where you want to go.
Mm.
For instance, you want to go to New York, and we match you. We do the work for you, and we match you. It's like Tinder, but for home exchange.
Ah, so you don't have to do all that filtering and researching.
No,
Interesting.
exactly.
Okay, so you're like a dating website for homes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so that's one of the key differences there. Could you tell us more how your business is different from the others?
Yeah. So we are exclusively are targeting families,
Mm.
and because the families, they have families with kids, they have and you have kids,
Mm-hmm.
so you have different needs. The people need to travel. Families need to travel during the school holidays. They need amenities, special amenities. They need space.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with my former boss. He has two kids, and he told me in summer he is struggling to find something that is quality and that is in an area that can entertain his family. Because if he goes to an hotel, hotels suggest him to book two different
Mm-hmm.
rooms, but he just want to be with his family
Mm-hmm.
all together. That's the purpose of having a holiday for him. So that is the main difference with the other competitors.
Yeah. How do you ensure that? Is there sort of like a vetting process to be in the network? Like, is there something that members have to agree to? So, for
Yeah,
example, like I would be afraid to have strangers come into my home because I don't know what they're going to do to it. Like, how do you ensure
hmm
that your home is going to be well taken care of?
yeah. So there are three things. The first is the review. There's a review system,
Mm.
and before the review, you have a vetting process by us. So we screen every person through a software that can check the background. And there is also a third element, which is you, Vanny, you can meet the person. You can have a call with them before accepting them. So they are not strangers anymore when they come to your place. You've
Mm.
been speaking and chatting with them.
Okay, so I think I got a good idea about it. How do you sign up?
So visit keybento.com,
Mm-hmm.
the website, and you just fill up the form. We ask for 2 3 questions, and then I will get in touch
Uh-huh.
with you
And how long is the process
to find a home or to sign up.
to sign up?
Oh, it's very quick.
Okay.
It's takes 1 minute.
And then the process where you review their file and then you interview
Oh,
them.
it takes 48 hours,
Okay.
24 to 48 hours.
Okay. How did you come up with Keybento?
With the name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Keybento with the key is the key of your home.
Mm-hmm.
And the bento box is because of the Japanese bento box. Me and my partner, we love everything about Japan. The Japanese bento box where you have a variety of foods that you can choose.
Mm.
So the idea is with one key, the key of your home,
Mm-hmm.
you can have access to many homes around the world,
Okay.
just like in a bento box.
Right. Okay. So when you do the match, do you offer them several options then? So say I want to go to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
You've matched me with a few, and then I just like kind of swipe and say like, hey, I want to talk to these people. Or do I only get one option, or do I get several options to connect with?
You get several options, and then you have 72 hours to interact with them or to start the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you can just match with anybody and then never reply.
Mm-hmm.
But you get many options that you can choose from, and it's not just one,
Okay.
but it's quite limited.
Mm-hmm. How many people are in the network right now, and what is your goal number to get to in say like in London or Vancouver?
Yeah. So right now we have about 200 people,
Mm-hmm.
and the goal for next end of this year, end of 2025, is to get to 2,500 people. So
10
10
times.
times
Yeah.
what we have.
Okay.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, you only started a year and a half ago, right? So
Yes.
how did you get
Correct.
your first client?
friends, family, and anybody that we were speaking with, we were just telling them about the idea
Uh-huh.
and for them to sign up.
Could you tell us how your father and your uncle influenced your decision to start Keybento?
Yes. So my father he's a taxi driver, and he chose this profession, this job, because he had freedom and flexibility
Mm-hmm.
to pick us when we were kids, and now as his grandfather, he can also help my sister. And he always told me that being working for you on your own account, it's it's so much freedom and flexibility, and also in terms of financial in terms of financial aspects, you have there is no cap as in a cap you have when you have a salary. So he told me he always tell me about those advice, and he doesn't force me to have my own business, but it's always in my mind. And yeah, so with my father we always share a lot of things about life advice, how to be better on every day, and how to enjoy life every day. So that was one of his advice. And my uncles, I saw them build businesses. One of my uncle has a bar in Paris, and he's opened multiple bars. And I saw that, oh, this is something. This is his business. He owns it, and his clients as his. And I have another uncle who also has a business of is selling merchandise items of mangas, Japanese mangas.
Mm-hmm.
I had the opportunity to work with him when I was younger and help him selling those stuff in Japan exhibition. And I just love the energy of being able to work with people you love, or people you like that you really choose to work with.
So you were surrounded by entrepreneurs, people who started and own their own businesses. how did you why didn't you go into entrepreneurship uh, before you went into finance? Was it because you didn't have the idea yet? Why not just start with entrepreneurship before even, dedicating yourself to finance?
I think that's because all of my parents and my relatives, they didn't really see themselves as entrepreneur, or maybe what they worship was more the fact that you would work in a suit in a corporate job. You would have your Saturday, it's free Saturday and Sunday, and you would enjoy life. So that was a bit the way they saw how we as kids we should aim for. And so that's and I also wanted to see that part of the world, being having worked in a big corporate in big banks. I felt like I saw that part, and now I want to build my own. So it's also for
Yeah.
my own experience that I wanted to go
Yeah.
that route first.
Okay. So you had that opportunity to experience that, whereas your parents and your uncles didn't really have an option. Like, they had to make money. So the best way for them to make
Exactly.
money was to start their own business. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Did you launch a year and a half ago, or did you come up with the idea a year and a half ago?
We come up with the idea 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 6 months working on it part-time
Mm-hmm.
with our job. And then 1.5 years ago, we both committed full-time on it.
Mm-hmm. How can you tell us, like, what it was like? Like, how did you find the people to help you develop this? What did your partner do prior to Keybento?
So she was a product manager in a
Mm-hmm.
tech company. So she helped, or she guide software engineers to build softwares or build application. So she already
Okay, so she
yes,
came with that experience, but
correct.
you came from a finance background. How
Yes.
did you find people to kind of fill the gaps where you guys didn't have any expertise in?
Our software engineer, our CTO, is my cousin.
Mm.
So he's my cousin who is 8 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up with him when I had issues with my homeworks. He was always helping me and me and my sisters. And then he saw the movement, he saw that we were committing on it, and he just joined us. He is working part-time on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had other people that we met along the journey. They've been recommended for us, and they came with us because they like to be part of a new venture, and they see that they can bring their skills. Like that's what's happened with our designer, for instance. He can bring his skills, and he can also learn something new. So they see values in helping us.
What has been the most rewarding so far on this journey in starting your own business?
I think it's being able to rewarding. It's being able to show to the world that we create assets, we create marketing for people, and then this when I speak on a video and I have people signing up just after this video, it feels a sense of wow, this this is extremely hard
Mm-hmm.
to do, but we have the benefits behind. It's like an asset working for us. So I think those are the biggest. This is the biggest reward I saw.
Yeah. So seeing what you're doing, seeing your actions create a result that you want.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So you did mention, like, wow, this is really hard. What's the most challenging thing that you've faced so far? Or maybe give
Um,
us two.
okay. One challenging thing is to continuously come up with new content to market a company
Mm-hmm.
and get attention and try sound not repetitive. And the other one is the emotional part of everything seems a bit emotional because it's me, it's our company, it's our money as well. So yeah, the emotion, trying to take myself out from the emotion is what is challenging every day.
Yeah. I noticed that your strategy is to share the journey with
Yes.
the audience. How did you come up with that idea?
I learned on somewhere that you need the average attention span now. I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk, a guru of social media,
Mm-hmm.
that attention span now is 12 to 24 hours. So after 12 or after 24 hours, if you're not on the feed on social media, it's like you don't exist. So sharing the journey of Keybento, the diary, it is one way to
Mm-hmm.
be able to be present every day in people's life. And it's also a way for people to see the progress and for them to want to be part of the journey.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned also the challenge of not sounding repetitive, but I have looked at your Instagram or your LinkedIn, and it doesn't sound like it, I haven't seen anything that sounds repetitive. You do a good job in repurposing the same message. Are there any other strategies that you're considering?
So my partner, she started a kind of a vlog on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So she's doing more YouTube long form content.
What is
So
her
that was
channels in case people want to follow her to see like what it's like being a co-founder in a startup?
it's Ilona Melnichuk. So Ilona and Melnichuk Melnychuk.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the show notes so that people can just quickly link to it if they are interested.
We've also started TikTok, and I I didn't put too much time on it,
Uh-huh.
but yesterday I checked my Facebook Messenger, and
Uh-huh.
one of my friends shared with me my video
Uh-huh.
asking me, is a friend that I knew at university, so long time
Mm-hmm.
I didn't speak with her. And she asked me, "Is it you? I saw you on TikTok." So now I want to be back on TikTok again
Yeah, the
because it
algorithm.
reaches people.
It does, yeah. It's a different beast. I've never really I just really post the same video on TikTok as I do on Instagram because I haven't really I don't know, I don't spend too much time on TikTok as I do on Instagram. It's just my generation, I guess. I
Yeah,
haven't really gone into TikTok yet, but I know that the algorithm actually works in your favor there. Yeah.
yeah. All of my friends now, when they
Mhm.
look for a restaurant
Mhm.
in Paris,
Mhm.
they look at it on TikTok.
Oh
They
yeah.
search for it on TikTok.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, I definitely need to be more active on TikTok, but you know, there's so
Step by
much
step.
yeah, only so much that you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is your plan for the next 2 years with Keybento? You mentioned in the
So
next year you want to multiply your membership by 10, so 2000 around
yes.
2000 people.
hmm
What about the following years?
So following year, so this year we really want to focus in London,
Mm,
have the maximum amount of homes, family homes from people in London. And the message is that when you have a home in London, you could go anywhere in the world because your home is so valuable. And then the message from people who would host them is that, guys, we have the biggest inventory of family homes in London. So that's the goal for the next year and a half.
hmm
And then from that to expand to other cities.
So what cities do you have right now in your database?
Right now we have London, Paris, Barcelona, Madrid, Milan. We also have Sydney.
Mm.
So most of it is Europe, big cities and expensive cities where there are many tourist activities. And then from that, we want to expand to the US as well, but that would be at a later stage.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a particular like level of home that's like it has to have a certain amount of bedrooms, but in terms of like neighborhood and all that, like is that a consideration as well? Or is that something that like the end user would be like, okay, I researched this neighborhood. I mean, I like the space, but I don't really want to stay in this neighborhood.
No, at the moment, we don't have any restrictions on
Okay.
neighborhoods. I think maybe as we grow, we will
Mm.
see that some users want only certain areas, but at the moment we are quite open in
Yeah.
terms of neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in that aspect, it's like an Airbnb then, where
Correct.
the end user would have to research where the home is located and see if it works out for them.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool,
Yes.
cool. And sorry, could you remind me how much it costs to be a member?
To be a member, it doesn't cost anything,
Oh, okay.
but there is a price, the service fee,
Mm-hmm.
a platform fee, what we call, per night. That's because of the insurance we get,
Mm-hmm.
the support, and the organization for the matches. So it's
Oh,
40
very
euro
cool.
per night.
Okay, okay, very cool. So the only restriction then is like you have to basically apply to be a member, but once you're a member, it's free, and there's no like annual fee to be a member. It's only based on
No,
a per usage per night
correct,
cost. Okay.
correct.
Oh,
Yes.
very cool. Okay, that sounds very enticing. Yeah. Can you be a member and not offer up your home?
that's no, that's something because the whole spirit is people sharing their home
Mm,
and not being a free rider, just
mm,
trying to have a cheap Airbnb.
right. Yeah. And how do you ensure that happens?
We have incentives, so you need to have your homes on a platform. You need
Mm.
to show your home and make it available. Otherwise, it's not playing the game of the whole community.
Hmm. Okay. What I'm saying is, how do you keep track of people actually legitimately offering up their home? Like, sure, you can list your home on your platform, but somebody reaches out and they're interested, and then you, as the home owner, could be like, I'm not really
Yeah,
interested in offering this home to that person.
yeah, yeah. I see.
And they
So
and they do it like every time. Like, how do you ensure that they actually are legitimately, genuinely interested in offering their home?
so we have a credit system
Mm-hmm.
where as you host people when you're away, you earn credits. So for one night, you earn one credit, and you can use then those credits to travel to someone else's place.
Okay.
So it's like a token that you
Mm-hmm.
have to go to someone else's place. And if
Mm.
you don't have credits, it means that you didn't host anybody.
Mm. Okay.
So you cannot travel. But at the beginning, we have every new member has 5 free credits
Mm.
so that they can start using the Keybento, the product.
Okay. Very, very cool. What are the must-haves that you need to sign up for Kibento? So you need to have a family. You need to have a home with multiple
Ye-
bedrooms. Anything else that they...
You don't necessarily need, you don't necessarily need to have a family, but it has to be family friendly.
Okay.
So that is the biggest criteria.
Okay.
And want to be part of a community that share homes and travel all around the world, be open-minded.
When you say family friendly, do you mean like to have the toys and stuff too? And
Not necessarily. What we've seen is that a lot of Airbnbs, for instance, there is a 75% of Airbnbs do not accept kids. So that's what I mean by being kids friendly. We have homes that accept kids.
Got it. You say, advice to my 16-year-old self. I would advise my 16-year-old self to learn Khmer. At this age, I was in high school. I lived with my parents and I spoke a mix of Cambodian and French at home. However, I didn't know how to read or write it. Now, as a son of Khmer parents, I want to pass on the Khmer heritage to my future kids, and I believe this starts with language. So I started learning on my own 1 year ago. I often struggle to pronounce words or retain them because I cannot practice as much as I would have if I were still living with my parents. Okay, I feel like we covered that.
Yeah.
But advice to your 20-year-old self, it basically talks about entrepreneurship. So I'll quote you there. I would advise my 20-year-old self to experiment with entrepreneurship because for me, entrepreneurship teaches you to be comfortable with failure. This in turn allows you to constantly try new things that will eventually lead to success. For instance, in my 20s, I had a few ideas like selling my mother's Cambodian dishes to my friends or promoting her sewing work, but I never executed them because I was afraid of failing. I would have learned a lot from those experiences, such as how to find the first customers, how to market products. Even if ultimately the experience fails, that would have helped me a lot with my business today. So, how come you were afraid of failing? Like you were doing so much already, right? And you excelled in school. You're doing extracurriculars, taking piano lessons, taekwondo. Like, what? Yeah, why were you afraid of failing?
I think because there was not a clear path. For instance, in Taekwondo, if I train hard, I know that I can compete and have a good level. But in doing on these kind of businesses or launching, trying those ideas, selling my mother's dishes or selling my mother's sewing work, I didn't know where to start. So I was just afraid of wasting time, actually. Wasting time to try something that I wouldn't know for sure what would be the result. So that was, I think now that's what I understand as an entrepreneur is not being afraid of waste time if it's worth doing it. If I really have the conviction that I have to experiment with it, I'll lean on it and I'll do it as quickly as possible. Small test, for instance, on the sewing work, I can just take a picture, post it on Instagram, and ask if anyone would be interested to see how many likes there are to engage with people. So that's what I learned now. I would have recommend anybody who has a bit of an entrepreneurship mindset to start.
Just start small in the beginning and see where where it takes you from there. Yeah, I love that. I love that you articulated that very well in terms of why you were afraid of failure, because there was no clear path. Yes, that's why a lot of people they don't know the end result. They don't know if it's going to work out. But so thank you for sharing that. What are one or two things that you want listeners to take away from your story?
I think now what I'm mostly struggling with is dealing with my emotions. So as I grew up, I think my mother understood me, and maybe she understands me very well. And sometimes I didn't need to communicate everything, and she would understand. Now that I live with my partner, I think that she is in my brain, and she would understand me the same way as my mother understands me. So I'm really working on this writing my emotions and saying, okay, is this rational? If I'm angry, for instance, yesterday we went shopping and both of us has a shopping trolley.
Mm.
And at the time of we were in the queue, at the time of going to pay, she took my trolley. And in my trolley, I ordered everything very well so that I could pack everything well in the back. And I was furious in my head. I say, did she do that on purpose because it was already well ordered, and she leave me with the bad ones? And no, she doesn't have the same vision. She doesn't care. She didn't even notice that she took mine.
And does she know that you like to put things in a specific order?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
because
And
for her it's like, yeah,
you
she
never
doesn't
communicated
notice
that to her.
Exactly. So now I really try to be more explicit
Mm-hmm.
and really try to say out loud what am I thinking. If I'm furious against her, say, is it rational to be furious for something so meaningless than the switching trolley? Yeah. So that's, I think, working on on your emotions. It's my one takeaway that I want to share with listener who might be in the same journey as me.
Yeah, I mean that bit of advice can be applicable to just the bigger picture in the world as well, right? With what's happening right now, and people have these polarizing views. You got to consider, you got to communicate exactly why you're feeling that way. You can't just expect people to think the same way as you or
Yeah.
feel the same way as you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, was there anything else that you wanted to share with listeners before we log off?
I think be confident with ourselves. Be confident with our identity. I'm the Khmer origins, and I know that some people don't like my girlfriend, for instance. She's Ukrainian, but she was raised in Ireland. She doesn't like to say that she's Ukrainian sometimes because she feels that there is some connotation. So she doesn't feel that she feels that people want to connect her to some cliche.
Yeah.
But in my case, I love saying that I'm from Cambodia because many people don't know about Cambodia.
Right.
So I love to put Cambodia on the map for people.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a shame that your partner feels that way about her Ukrainian heritage, because I'm sure there's tons of beauty that she can share if she shared the fact that she's Ukrainian.
Yeah.
But I do understand where she's coming from, because I felt that way growing up as a Cambodian Canadian as well, because there was this connotation that we're uneducated, and which a lot of us were, but that doesn't mean that we're not smart, right?
Yeah.
And not ambitious. And this podcast is highlighting that, the fact that we've got some incredible people, and we need to celebrate that.
I love your initiative.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being part of this journey, and thank you for sharing your story of how you started Keybento and your goals with it, and all the best in attaining those 2,000 members.
Thank you, Annie.
It's scary starting something new, leaving behind certainty, but in the end, Hervé's doing what's making him happy. Now, what's cool is he's only just started a year and a half ago, so you can follow along on his journey too. Check out the links in the show notes. And if you're interested in following in his partner's experience, I've linked to her YouTube channel there too. Ngaknia, let's come together and help Hervé get over 2,000 members this year. There's so many ways you can do this. 1. If you're a traveler, become a member. Visit keybento.com to register. And don't forget, you get credits upon registration as a new member. 2, tell your family and friends about Keybento. And lastly, connect with them on social media. Keybento_diaries. Now, if you become a member, be sure to mention you found them through Khmer Voices. I'm not getting any money for this. I just want to help out a fellow Khmer with a big dream and cool idea. And I want to note, although their focus is on expanding in London, they are accepting members from all over the world. In fact, one of their newest additions is Hawaii on the island of Oahu. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Khmer Voices. I'm honored and humbled to have listeners from unexpected countries like South Africa, Ireland, Italy, and Portugal, just to name a few. And if you're not too shy, let me know on social media if you're from one of these locations. I love connecting with you guys. Well, we will be back in 2 weeks with another episode. Auckland Town for listening.